Hello everyone, and welcome back to Three-Legged Dog Yoga. Thanks for joining me in today's class. We'll begin at the back of the mat, sitting up nice and tall on the heels. And then we'll take a big breath here. And then as we exhale, let's widen the legs and come down to child's pose. Crawling the hands forward, forehead comes to the mat, chest comes down to meet the thighs. And we'll start moving inwards with the breath here, starting to elongate the inhales, filling up the belly and the chest. And elongating the exhales, emptying it all out. And staying with this breath as we move through our practice today. On your next inhale, let's press through the hands and come up to tabletop. Wrists are underneath the shoulders, hips are over the knees, and tuck the toes. Inhale, arch the back, look up. And then exhale, round it all out. Gaze comes towards the navel. We'll keep moving through our cat-cow. So inhale to arch, gaze comes up high. And exhale to round. Moving with your own breath the next 3 rounds. Inhale to arch, and exhale, round. 2 more. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. And last one. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. And when we're finished, we'll meet in tabletop. And then we'll slowly crawl the hands forward and drop the chest down to the floor for extended puppy dog. Hips stay over the knees. And maybe that chin rests against the floor. If it's too far for the chin, you can always rest the forehead or just gently keep the head and neck up. Making sure to keep the breath nice and bright here. Breathing into that whole chest, down into the belly. And then exhaling that air all the way out. Inhale, press through the hands, come back to tabletop. And then we'll reach our right foot to the back of the mat. Inhale to lift it. Find your balance in that right hand. And we'll lift the left arm up, reaching towards the front of the mat for bird dog on the first side. Keep that gaze in one spot. Working on the balance here. Big breath, reach a little bit forward, a little bit more forward. And then as we exhale, let's drop that leg down, hand comes back to the mat, and we will switch sides. Wait for your next inhale, left leg comes up, right arm reaches ahead. Once again, finding that drishti point, that point of focus, to keep your balance here, and reaching as far away from each other as you can with the hand and the foot. Really elongating the spine all the way through the crown of the head. As we exhale, let's place the hand and the knee back on the mat. Walk the hands forward, and we'll send the hips up to the sky for downward facing dog. Just taking a moment, finding any movement you need, maybe bending through the knees, shuffling through the hips. Finding whatever feels good for the body today, and then eventually we'll find some stillness in downward facing dog. Plant firmly through the feet and the right hand. On your inhale, let's reach back for that right shin with the left arm. So if you need to bend the knees a lot to get there, no problem. Coming into a twist. Keeping that breath full. Really reaching with that left arm. And then on the exhale, we'll come back to neutral and switch it up. So press through that left hand. This time we'll reach with the right arm towards the left leg. Bending again if we need to through that knee. Nice big inhale. And then exhale, come back through center. Shift the weight over the hands, nice and slowly. Hold in high plank. And then slowly lower to the floor, either placing the knees down first or coming down through chaturanga. Inhale to lift the chest for Sphinx. Placing the forearms on the mat. Press through the chest, drawing that whole chest forward. Gaze comes gently up. And if you'd like to add on, you can press through those hands, coming into seal, straightening the arms. Exhale, bring the arms back down, hands come underneath shoulders, press up to our plank, and then exhale to downward facing dog. Take one breath here, bring the gaze between the hands, and we'll step up with that right foot. Drop the left knee to the floor, untuck the toes, wait for the inhale, arms come up nice and high. Exhale, bend the arms to cactus arms, and we'll shine that heart forward, coming into a mini back bend. Keeping that chest reaching up towards the sky, shoulders are squeezing together. And then exhale, let's reach forward, plant the left hand, and inhale, open that right arm up to the sky for easy twist. If you'd like to try and reach a little bit further with that right arm, opening the chest just a little bit more, you're welcome to do so. If not, just staying with the shoulders stacked. Exhale, let's plant the hands, frame the foot, and we'll step it back to downward facing dog. Switching sides. Gaze comes between the hands. Let's step up with that left foot, drop the back knee, untuck the toes, wait for the inhale, and come all the way up. Once again, squeezing those shoulder blades together, cactusing the arms, and pressing that chest forward. Breath stays full. And then exhale, let's frame the foot. This time plant the right hand. Inhale, left arm comes up for easy twist on the opposite side. Once again, option to press that left arm just a little bit further back, coming into a bit of a wider chest opener. As long as the breath stays full, no pinching, no pain. And then we'll exhale, plant the hands, frame the foot, step it back to downward facing dog. I'm going to roll over into wild thing. So let's shift the weight forward to the hands. I'm going to roll over onto the right foot, step over the leg with the left, let the hips sink, and then send them up towards the sky as we reach that that left arm overhead. Finding a soft spot to gaze, really pressing through that chest and through those hips. And then on the exhale, we'll roll back to center to downward facing dog and switch sides. So once again, let's roll over onto the left side, shift the weight into the hands, step with that right foot over the left. Inhale, draw that chest and those hips up towards the sky, making a nice big arch with the back, reaching overhead with that right arm. And then as we exhale, let's come back to center. Step through downward facing dog, and then we'll sink our hips down towards the mat for child's pose. Maybe taking a moment, dropping the head towards the mat, and reaching forward with those arms. Slowing down the breath. And slowly we'll roll up one vertebrae at a time, coming all the way up to seated. Head and neck come last. And when you make it up to seated, let's bring those knees together, sitting on the heels. We'll sit up nice and tall. Inhale, roll the shoulders up and back, and reach the fingertips for the floor behind you. Once again, coming into a heart opener, mini back bend. So chest is pressed up towards the ceiling, chin stays gently tucked, and the gaze comes up towards the ceiling. One more big inhale here, and then exhale, round it all out, gently pressing through the upper back. Inhale, come back to seated. We'll shift over onto the hips and then scooch forward a little bit on our mat, slowly rolling down until we're all the way on our back. Once we arrive on our backs, let's hug the knees in. Squeeze the knees, maybe gently rock side to side, just massaging the lower back. And if you'd like to add on, you can bring the gaze and the head up towards the knees. Just finding any movement that feels really nice for the back. Eventually planting the feet back on the floor, let's shift the hips over to the left side and drop the knees over to the right. Arms are either outstretched or in cactus, and gaze is either at the ceiling or over that left shoulder. Wherever we are, trying to drive that left shoulder towards the floor, towards the mat. and that left hip away from the right shoulder. Gaze comes back to center. Inhale, bring the knees back to center, shuffle the hips over to the opposite side, and drop the knees over to the left. Again, either finding the gaze up towards the ceiling or over that right shoulder this time. And just settling in for a few breaths. Inhale, come back to center with the gaze. Feet plant on the floor, shuffle the hips to center. And then once again, we'll just hug the knees in. This time, just gently rocking up all the way to seated. And then finding a nice comfortable seat as we close our practice. Sitting up nice and tall, let's roll the shoulders back. Exhale all the air out. Big inhale. Exhale, sigh it all out. That's all for today's practice. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.